So we have a super jam-packed day, and we're kind of already mega behind schedule, but that's okay. So we'll make up time here and there. So I would just ask that to help everyone in the room learn and understand what's going on, and we know that we're throwing a lot of information at you, that just try and be respectful of those who are speaking and have the floor. Let's try and keep on point. I might have to try and cut you off, and I do that not because I don't care about what you're saying, but I also have a bit of a responsibility to get through the material and get you out hopefully early. So we'll try and hopefully work together and make that happen. So you all have an agenda in the front of your binder, so you can kind of see what's happening for the day. And so we're going to start off with a little bit of a TAP overview, so where it came from, role and responsibilities. We'll talk about this ACT trial just to try and give you a bit of context. It's information that it might be helpful for you, but you won't necessarily need to transmit that to the ambassadors. It's really just for you to give you some context and sense of how this is all linked. Sound good?
Great.
Okay.
Okay, so this is look, we will not get into acronyms, and I'll try to go through this in a brief way, because I don't want to get, but it's important, I think, that you understand the context of this program and where it's come from. So this is about 2.5 years in the making, believe it or not. We, as part of Dr. Amit Garg's research, so you guys, he's kind of our research leader in this. This is a research initiative. He's also probably the preeminent researcher in the area of living kidney donation, probably internationally. He would probably be too shy to say that, but I said I'll just say it. And if you look it up, anyway, you'll see his name everywhere. And so he started, he's very passionate about also increasing living donation and removing the barriers to living donation. And so he put together, as part of the CanSolve initiative, so I guess I should describe that very briefly. CanSolve CKD is a patient, it's a funded project by the CIHR, Canadian Institutes of Health Research, federal government funded project. It's a $25 million project across Canada. So the first Canadian renal research network ever. And really it connects probably over 100 researchers in the area of all kinds of kidney stuff. This transplant initiative is the only project within CanSolve. And the key to this research network is that all of the research projects, there's 18 of them across the country, they are all patient-oriented and patient-directed. That is a big move in the area of medical research, is all around patients being involved, not as subjects, but being involved as partners, being involved in what the initiatives are all about, what matters to them. And it's not always what the researchers think. So it's a very novel and new area, and it's turning out quite exciting. So many of us, several of us in the room, just put your hand up if you're involved in CanSolve. And there's opportunities for anyone to be involved should they choose to be. So TAP, the Transplant Ambassador Program, is part of Amit's project within CanSolve. So it's actually being funded through the CanSolve initiative as part of that Canadian Institutes of Health Research grant. $1.1 million project, but TAP is not the only project. He has a couple of other projects within that that are all involved living transplant research, and it's really exciting. So that's a 5-year initiative. We have 3.5 years left of that initiative, and then we'll see how that goes and what progress we've made. So after,
and also this isn't intended to end.
No.
In 4.5 years in CanSolve. This project is intended to go on.
Yeah, our hope is that we can prove, we can move the dial on referrals, the number of referrals for transplant, and also the number of transplants. That is our goal with the program. It's like we want to see impact. It is the first program of its kind that is going to be measured. We're going to have metrics and evaluation, and you'll find out a lot more about that. So we all believe that this will work, but we want to see that it has impact in the clinic. So that's what this is about. And we're going to talk about hospitals later, so I'm not going to get into that. So The next step in this process was a workshop that we did with about 30 patients and donors in Toronto in March 2 years ago. Who was there? Several people in this room were there. And out of that came this paper, which you guys can look up. It was a published research paper, and it really was about where patients and donors felt some of the gaps were, and also where they felt they could contribute, where they felt they could help. And the Transplant Ambassador Program, although it wasn't called that at the time, was the number one, unanimously, everyone felt that this was a gap for them in terms of their experience, whether they were a recipient or a donor, and that it was something that they wish they had, and it's something that they would really want to be involved with. So it was at that point then that we began to look at this much more and start to put some foundation behind it. At that meeting, we also had a discussion about the need for a network of kidney patients and donors who were interested in patient-oriented research and that could be used as a resource that could be tapped into by Dr. Garb and many others, this whole network of transplant researchers across the country. So our hope is that as TAP begins to grow and as the Ambassador Program begins to grow, that these folks that are involved actually become a network that can contribute to other areas, to other research projects as well. So this is hopefully just our first, but very important initiative. And then we are part of the Ontario Renal Network strategy that Irene has already told you a little bit about, and you'll hear a lot more information about that. We are not funded by the ORN, and we are not operating under the ORN umbrella, but we are partnering with them. So we are partnering with the ORN. We have regular meetings all the time, but this program is really important that we've kept it patient-oriented, patient-directed. We are the governing body of this program, and it is our program. We are the leaders of this program, and it's up to us whether it succeeds or fails. The ORN is allowing us, is really a key to this, because with their support, we are in the hospitals, we are in the clinics, we are face-to-face with patients, we are where they are. And we all know that when you're going through this, sometimes you don't have the energy to pick up the phone and call someone else. So we are there, we're there where they are, and we're ready to chat with them if they're ready to chat with us. So that I've said this, and this is, I will repeat it, but if anybody is to, when you're out there chatting with people, say, well, there's various programs, and some hospitals have their little programs, and there's been lots of kind of programs that help and have been great. This is the first program that is patient-oriented, patient-led, patient-directed.
And when we say patient, we mean donors, recipients, family members.
And I apologize, because I know many, in some of those early workshops, we talked to a lot of donors who do not consider themselves patients, and they made that very clear. And so we do try to say patients.
It's just hard to say donors, recipients, family member driven. So we say patients, but that's sort of what we mean.
For the sake of today, we're going to include you in that, but we do realize that we have to work on that language. So this is the big picture. This is the top.
So this is in your binder too, and just also note that in the front pocket there are these slides printed out for you. So sometimes people like to take notes beside each slide, and that's fine. Yep.
This is how this has evolved, and I think what's going to make it extremely successful. So as I said, we are the body that is leading this program. Leah and I actually have co-created this over the last several years, and it's evolved with a lot of great input from patients and researchers and the ORN and the ORN and Trillium Gift of Life Network, which is TGLN, have all been helping us and providing input to get us to this point. Emma's our support person.
We couldn't, this day would not have happened without Emma, so I will thank you before I forget at the end of the day. Thank you.
Because we both have other jobs. Leah and I both have other jobs. Leah works on many other research projects. I work for the Kidney Foundation, but this is a volunteer gig for me, so this is all quite separate from that. Although it's kind of helpful to know what they're doing as well, and be able to bring them in if needed and that kind of stuff.
So we're part of CanSolve, Sue and I. So that's that connection over there. And
This
then
project, we've taken to CanSolve all the time, and we are actually, like right now, the most advanced CanSolve project that there is. They use us as the poster child, so it's quite good. And then we have we'll talk about this in a little bit. There's a separate chart on this. This is the ORN steering committee. So again, making sure that there's folks from all these different organizations that kind of know what we're doing and can help and support us. And then we come down to what we're talking about today, which is your local hospital team, your quality improvement team. We say the QI team. Sometimes I get a bit dyslexic and call it the IQ team, so forgive me if I do that, but it's kind of that too. And then we have, this is you guys around the table, the TAP lead and the TAP co-lead, who are the leaders of TAP in your hospitals. The TAP experts, you will be after today, and will become more so every day. And then you have all of the transplant ambassadors that you'll be recruiting, and it will just be like continuing this line, and just grow and grow over time. So any questions about this structure? Is it kind of clear?
This is a basic question. So the meetings like this, what organization pays for the gathering?
This is under the CANSOL funding that is allowing for the fundamental basic costs of us to do this over the next.
This is paid for as one of Amit Garaj's projects under CANSOL. $1,000,001 that Sue mentioned last week.
So there's a budget to roll out the ambassadors and whatever the costs are associated.
Yeah, there's a basic
Been
budget.
incorporated into the CANSOL grant.
Yeah, we have a basic budget which covers, but it also covers all of the research side and all the expense of the research and everything. So that's why it's so important that we have people like Bryn and Jeff Funston Communications, who also did all of our logo work and all of our posters and all that great stuff, who volunteered their work for us. So we really appreciate it. So anything else? Did that answer your question, Jason?
I'm really proud of this diagram because for the last 4 or 5 months we've been trying to figure out how the heck to try
Show
and
this.
like illustrate this. So Irina started this diagram and then I sort of fleshed it out. So I love it.
It is easy to read.
It's helpful. It's good.
Because you don't know the hierarchy.
It's hard,
You
yeah.
have to order the hierarchy of who's equal, who's, it's a really good.
This is the picture, big picture of TAP. Yeah, so there you go. So if you ever
I'm
get
gonna get a
confused, just
tattoo of that.
have a look at that. Yeah.
But you have to refine it. We need a picture of Cindy up top.
Okay.
Goddess of all.
Go for it.
Go TAP.
All right, so.
That's that.
So this is kind of the language again, that we worked on this for a long time, you know, whose project is this, where does it live, who's in charge in basic language, and so this is the language that we came up with, which is actually really important. We wanted to share it with you. Simply that the Ontario Renal Network and Trillium Gift of Life are leveraging the power of peer, the power that we have in this room, as patients and donors talking to other patients and donors, as a core component of their access to kidney transplantation and living donor provincial strategy. This is a provincial strategy across Ontario to ensure patients and families from across Ontario have access to this unique program. So they are working with us to make sure that this is supported and vibrant and effective in the hospitals. And so that is key to this program working. So
And also accepted as a core part of the QI
That's right.
teams. That was the first thing that was really important. Remember, hospitals, I mean, we've all been in them. There's them and us. Well, now it's
Yes.
all hopefully on the QI team us.
exactly. And we will talk more about your role in the QI team, but Lawrence is exactly right. We are the leads of this program on the QI team. We are the experts of TAP on the QI team.
And without the ORN, none of that would happen. Because they're the modal factor for that.
Mhm. And the ORN actually, just so to be clear, you know, provides the funding to all of the renal centers. They make the renal centers operate and work, and it is part of their mandate that the TAP be introduced as part of a multi-pronged approach, which we're going to talk about next. So we are one of 4 pillars.
Yeah, so in terms of and Irina, feel free to jump in, I'll do my best to describe this.